This is the TR2 distributor pedestal that I've taken off and powder coated and cleaned. And let me tell you, you want to take this sucker apart and clean it out. There's just black. I've cleaned it and baked it and everything, and the dirt is just pouring out of the thing. See the granules here. I believe that I have the parts down in there, but I've been kind of messing around. I got a couple extra Dremel things, and that's some of it. There's more there and more back there, and here's the head. Some of us have these professional machinist headstands, and then again some of us don't, but I got to thank Blue for that also. He got those for me several years ago. And there's my UpDock Auto new thing to put up. I got some thermostats, guides, valves, and everything for this thing, but we're not going to go into that right now. We're going to keep working on the TR4. So let me move that stuff and see if I can get TR4 running today. It hasn't worked out so good. I've been kind of messing with it. I thought I was going to be cranking it up, but wrong. Okay, let's get this cleaned up and back together. Buy these brushes. This block cleaning brush set from, I believe, Moroso or something. Just get those things. They have come in so flippin' handy. So here's this pedestal. Gone off on a huge tangent here, huh? So there that is, nice and clean. Here's the bushing that goes into the pedestal. And here is the distributor drive that you better put in there before you put it in there, but you got to put some glide on it. But boy, that's woohoo, baby. So all that stuff's been ultrasonicked and a little bit of WD on it. And let's take a look at this. I got the other brush to do the small part there, that brush. And this is all out of that. Look at that. Look at all that. Yeah. All of that was in the pedestal and in these other little parts here. We'll talk about Spitfire stuff in a minute. And so anyway, well, I was measuring this and that, but we'll do that later. Let's get this back together and get it on the car. Now you got to measure your gap here, and you just got to look that up in the book. When you put this back on the block, you got to get that right. Now when you put your pin back in there, you got to make double dog sure you get it in there. And this is 5/8 at least in my world. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, a little bit of time slick, and it slid in there easy because it's clean. I did take this 5-inch wrench and make it a little narrow to fit that in there, and that right there, that little pin is 1/2 inch, and I put a copper washer back there, and it nails it just fine. So what was I going to do? I was going to fit this thing, but I'm not really quite ready to do that. Okay, so you know where it goes. I've got top dead center number 1. I've got the gear pointing toward that first part over there, toward the leading part of the engine. You'll see on the diagram that the keyway is at 90 degrees of the block. So let's put a little sealant on here and set this in there. Boy, that is clean stuff. And I got my Tom Slick right here, ready to, I called it that on purpose. So there it is. Just little touches of that. Boy, I got a big mess of stuff here. Ooh, is that what I was looking for? Yeah, it's 2 water pump gaskets. Yep. You know, I didn't see a thermostat gasket, but I got it. That's Spitfire. Let's stick to the TR4. I got to put this on and these in. So these, my wobbly table. Oop. So let's put these in. I'm glad there's a coarse and a fine, and we'll get those in. So just won't have to do it bending over. Put a little bit of blue Loctite on. Okay, so I've got my little studs in this piece in, ultra slick down in there. Tachometer cable hooked up. Those down there tight. So when you put this in, recommend you keep some rubber bands around. I got some goo down in there. I tell you what, let's put a little. You can stick with me for this. You won't mind, I'm sure. And it can't hoit. You know, there's an O-ring up in there. Yep, okay, so I feel good about that. That's a good green one. Mr. Green, he's so serene. So let's spin that around some. Rubber band popped off. That's okay. We all got to pop off sometime, don't we? Okay, so let's, my belief is that it's going to go on this away. Let's see, if you don't keep them things, those stirrup straps up, you end up in a bad spot. And there you go, you heard it go click in there. And you can double check and look at it, and this will stay still, and everything else will move. See what I mean? They hook on everything. And I'm thinking, I don't know where the rotor is. Well, now I do. Okay. Try not to touch that if you can help it, because you know that your nastiness will make it corrode. Okay, now that's on there, and that's pointing right to the number 1 spark plug. So now's when you get your test light, the meager one that I have, but it does light up. Okay, let's say it together. 3, 2, 1. Scope on a rope. Okay, we all said it. And don't forget to hook up this. Now, I am going to static time this thing. I'm going to get it to where the contact breakers just break. And then I'm going to tighten it down. And I know you're all going, no, you're not. Yes, I am. Reason being, you don't have to go hog wild on that. Okay, so the reason being is that you're supposed to adjust your 6 degrees before top dead center right here. And that's advance before. So it actually tells you right there, there's an A and an R. And you can actually see it happen. Now, am I going to do all this with you guys? I guess I can. The whole point is put the exhaust system in, and we're not going to be cranking her, so it ain't a big deal. Let me show you my point here. Just get a rubber band and put it around those, and you don't have to even make it tight. So, moving the distributor. Okay, so it broke right there. So you can see the points just moving. I can't get both in the same shot, I don't think. I can't tell if that's happening or not. But right there. So I'm going to need 2 hands because I've got to tighten that up, okay? So you guys just hang out right there, alrighty? So this is 7/16 down here. So she wants to come back on you because of the spring force of the tension on the contacts. So contact breakers. Now you gotta have to street tune this thing too. And you'll find there's a little bit of give and take. Okay, so let's tighten that down, and then you tighten this down. Just to where it doesn't move. If you go hog wild on any of this stuff, you're going to damn it. It's going to look like, now there's one on each side here. And these are kind of hard to get to. So, okay, well that's enough of that. So now, what you do is, you're going to advance. So you can do the same thing. Here's your vernier wheel, and you want to go 1 notch. There's those notches right there. See them? And 1 notch is supposed to be 6 degrees. Let's watch the light. See? Alright. 1 notch. and we're right there. I'm going to go with right there. Okay, that's about 1 notch. And we can take this off now. All right, ooh, I think it's hot. See, it ain't much of a test light, but I don't use test lights real often. I find myself using the fluke meter more than anything. You might as well just hang with me. All right, so make sure that this is in its slot right there, and then you take your negative, because we are negative earth. So your negative goes to the points, your positive goes to your ignition, and you can move those back a little bit. Make sure that that's home or you'll bust it. And everything's looking good. So this thing should come off a little bit at a corner here. A little bit candy-wampus on there. And with today's fuels and all that other mess, you never quite know where you might end up. John Twist says 30-something degrees. Well, that could be true. I don't know. There you go now. It's all the way down. That's such a nice new cap that it was a little bit tight. Okay, so say it with me. 1, 3, 4, 2. That is the firing order on this particular beast. 1, 3, 4, 2. Okay, and that looks to be, get the stress off of that plastic, because I believe that's actually off of TR7, and I've got it hooked up down to the bottom of that carburetor. Let's go over there and look, because you gotta just, it's good to just go back and double check everything. So I've got the vacuum hooked up right there. It's clear of everything. Oh, I can't remember if that's going to charge or not. If you're going to put a tie there, put a stainless steel one. Unless you got that funky hook thing. I've got 2 or 3 of them. I just don't like them. I don't know. It's not my gimmick. Okay. All right. So we should be about ready to fire up here. And we'll do that here in just a second. Let me clean up and get everything from rattling around and hitting something. And launching up and going through the roof. And then more birds will get in if that happens. Once again, for the second time, let's get our noise abatement on now. Noise alert, okay? Not like last time. And I don't like cranking it with the bonnet up, but I think we're going to be okay. So I've disconnected the coil and got the oil pressure up. I've done all that. So, okay, here we go. Whoa! All right, that is all I'm going to do. And I know the astute among you have said to yourselves, oh, how did that come off? I don't know. We'll worry about it in a minute. I don't have much faith in those things anyway. Okay, so the astute among us know that if you run it too long like that, you can burn out your exhaust valves. I don't think it would happen when it was this cold, but I can move her now. I got a car running. All right, and I did have to advance it a little bit more. She didn't want to start, and I just cocked her around a couple of degrees, and then that's when she fired up. So I figured that would happen. It's more than 6 degrees, and I knew that it was, but I wanted to kind of go by the book, because the book is right here, and that's what she says. Now, this is a book of great reverence for me. So I'm going to take her up to the house. I'm going to get some ice in a cup and a little drop of Gatorade and a big thing of water. And then we are going to call this a day. Give me a thumbs up. That was many, many days. I literally thought it was going to take about an hour, and I ended up down the rabbit hole, as we all know so well. So thanks for watching and spending time with me and all that stuff. God, don't you hate this stuff? Don't you hate these little clip things? And you know, you start thinking that you depend on them. Okay, well, let's go get a cool drink, take a break, and regroup and head for the Spitfire. Ugh. Okay, found this in the glove box. There's some door clips and triumphant letters there, and look at that. There's the old kit with a screwdriver and all of that. You know what? I was thinking I was going to take that out of the car, but I don't think I will. Look at made in Germany. PSW carburetor. So, there's all kind of old things you could have. I think I'll put that in the back with all the other ignition stuff. Okay, let's see if my old boat. Don't worry, I got them on. And now I gotta have to put them back on again. Okay, so, alright. Let's see what happens. I got it back on. Now, let's see if she charges. So she's in the green. She's showing 14.5 volts. She should go up into the black there. Okay. Alright, that's a go. That's about 15 and a half, 15.72 volts is what that is. I calculated it as we were going, so let's see, where did I end up with that thing? So if you end up doing this AC Delco thing and you end up with all those, it ended up in the ignition IGM, which would be the 7 o'clock. You can't possibly see where that black wire's going into that brown thing. At least that gives you the gauge. I don't think that it matters. It might, if it's charging or not. Let's get that up off of there. So just got my vent going to my EPA approved site down there, and everything else is good. Okay, so didn't have to use my head this time. Ow! Digging into your shoulder though ain't no fun. Okay. Just wanted to. I gotta disconnect the battery. All right, let's disconnect the battery. Okay, that's it. Okay, back up here again, and this is where she lives. I know it's not the 10 Commandments or nothing, but it means a lot to me. So I try to be gentle with her, and I'm serious about that. Okay, keep her protected right in there.